All right, good evening and welcome to Scotty Talks About. I got a big crew with me tonight. Woo!
Full house.
Got the other window too. Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody. So, hi, everybody in the chat room. Hi, Nate. Hi, Julie. Hi, Greg. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hi, Daniel. Look at it. Got everybody in tonight. So, Julie's there. We got a big gang already with us tonight. So, happy to have everybody with us tonight. And we'll go around the room here in a second. But tonight we're going to be talking about Psychics Unite and all things spiritual, because I have two psychic mediums there, and I'm going to take this banner off of Jenn's head because my face is on Jenn's head, so I'm just going to do nothing. I don't think. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, the one to cover in this thing is mine.
That's okay.
We'll do it. That's the only.
I always do this. It's just
because it's better than doing it by the duck.
It sounds like the punchline to a bad joke. You got a duck in your head.
A duck walks into Jenn's hair.
You could put
hits the hairspring so hard that it just bounces off.
Maybe I can move you guys. Can I move you guys around? I don't know if I can.
New format, so we're trying.
Yeah, only my second show. Maybe I could do it. Oh, here we go. No.
We were trying to move Devin into the corner so that way that logo is over.
No one puts Devin in a corner.
That's right.
We're going to put you in the corner.
Yeah.
In the corner.
Hi, Donna. Hi.
All right.
So we're going to go around the room and introduce everybody. Since you guys have been watching the show, welcome to season 2, episode 2. Get it? 2-2? Nice. Of course, that's how that works out. So we're sitting right next to the most beautiful lady in the world, Terri.
Where is she?
Yeah, where?
Ben wasn't talking about me. Go ahead.
I don't know about. Anyway, hi, I'm Terri Rorek. I'm founder of Psychics Unite and Mrs. Scotty Rorek.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together, what?
32 years.
32 years.
I know, which is weird because I'm only 24.
I love you.
That was from a past life. Right? You carried over 8 years.
We just picked up where we left off.
That's right.
Okay.
That's funny because I have nothing on my body that's my age, 24 years old. My underwear's older than that, so. And I'm wearing them.
Yeah. Eggs and bacon on his underwear. Yeah. That's what he dropped. It's actually printed on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't spill my breakfast on there. I kept them all day.
No pants tonight. Okay. Moving right along. Wait, is it that way?
That way.
That way.
That way.
We know which way we're going.
I guess that would be me, right? Because am I next to you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're next.
Well, I don't know on this. Okay, I could be either way. Anyway, I'm Steve Hodgson. Okay, I'm married to this beautiful lady sitting next to me on this side. Okay, and I'm a paranormal investigator, and I'm also a webmaster. That's what I do for a living. Run a company called Street Smart Incorporated, which has been doing websites for before WordPress, way back when you had to handwrite every piece of code, like 26, 27 years ago.
Right.
So.
I remember doing some of that too. I did a couple of web pages in the old days. Pain in the butts.
Yes.
And then they always come to you about 10 minutes after you put it up. Oh, I want to change this. It'll take me a week. Thanks.
So I've designed an entire website, went with colors and everything else, got it all approved. And as we went to, you know what? I don't really like that color. You think we can change all of it's like, no.
No.
We want to pay some more. Okay, we'll do it again.
Good enhancement, yeah.
Yep. This young lady.
So my name is Jennifer Hodgson. I'm a psychic medium and paranormal investigator and author, and I help him with Street Smart and photo memory DVDs and a number of other things, which we'd be here a while, so I'm going to cut that short.
That's all right. And then we have the other beautiful lady down there.
I am my own beautiful lady. Hi, I'm Devin Evans. I am a psychic medium. I also lead the Columbus, Ohio chapter Psychics Unite, where we have a great time every other week. I'm a fledgling paranormal investigator, so with Shadow Hunters, Paranormal Investigations and Events, we'll be doing more of these here locally in Ohio this year.
Nice. Like that a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good. Hey, so everybody that's watching tonight in the chat room and stuff, please feel free to ask us questions. We can now see them very easily. They're on the screen and everything. So, and all the guests can do it too. So go ahead and we'll be able to happy.
Do they go along the bottom there?
Yeah, we'll be right
And
there.
Greg, I am so outnumbered that I'm not even touching your post.
Oh, Danny. Danny wants to know where my Packer hat is.
I thought you said peckerhead.
You were drinking before you came on.
You have to enunciate, sir.
No wonder those meetings are so good.
No. He said Packer hat, not Pecker hat.
Thanks for clarifying. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page as everyone else.
Can you say the P word?
We can say Pecker head on the show.
Oh, no. I meant it.
Oh, penis?
Oh, I guess so. Okay.
Yeah, you can
Well,
say.
I just want to tell everybody that you can't have happiness without penis.
I
All right,
personally love
so the
that.
show went there already, everybody. Welcome.
And it wasn't me either.
How the word is created.
Will never be on YouTube. But
Hey, Scotty, haven't you figured out when the three of us ladies get together, it's over at that
It's
point.
trouble.
I think that's what people don't realize.
Over.
I think that, men think, oh, yeah, I'm going to talk about sex, but women actually get together and we talk about sex in a cooperative way. Like, I know this is not the topic of the show, but this is what we do. We like help each other out. This works for you. This works for me. What did you try this? Blah, blah, blah. And we try to help each other out as opposed to guys like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So women talk about it in a cooperative way.
Yes.
See, Terry, you forget that this show is called Scotty Talks About. So whatever we talk about is what we talk about.
Okay.
There's no set topic on here. None. No, we just keep talking. And if we go way down the rabbit hole of penis and women talking about sex, we'll be there all night.
All right.
see what you started, Devin?
Oh, I'm so happy to be that instigator. That's me.
Eater.
Right.
So, Nate, thank you for the background. I'm glad you the background is also the background of my website at scottyrorek.com. So I want to make sure throw that in there. So Linda, at least we got some people laughing. So Linda's laughing in the chat room. So, welcome. Well, tonight we were supposed to talk about Psychic Unite. I don't feel like it anymore.
I always feel like talking about Psychics Unite.
All right. So why don't we start with Terri, because Terri was the founder, or she was the put her together. Yeah, it was. Because after tonight's show, we ain't on anymore.
Changed on my face. Okay. All right. So, any particular thing you want me to talk about? What it is?
You founded it. You founded it and you putting it together.
We kind of talked about that on the last show.
That's okay.
But okay, I'm just going to.
We can edit this out too and put it on our webpage.
Well, there's still a lot of things we should edit out. So you can edit this and make this all.
You want this the welcome video?
Yeah.
5-minute montage show. Okay. Let's see. We'll talk about Psychics Unite. The purpose is to organize and unite people both locally and globally to advance the understanding and acceptance of psychic perception. The channels of doing that are to have support, education, outreach, service, and research. And let's see, we started about 5 years ago with our first meeting. And we've been going ever since, and with COVID on Zoom. So right now, the lovely Steve sitting next to me here, because we're actually all sitting in the same room. We just put each other
We just painted the walls different.
It's like everybody out. Anyway, so Steve has been working diligently, and Jenn, to put together our website so that we can make it accessible and use or have a lot of usable features for everybody to advance that purpose. So that's what we've been doing recently.
So yeah, we're looking at Nate says we should make that first part a blooper reel.
Blooper reel. I saw that.
Like that.
Don't tempt me.
Isn't everything we do a blooper reel?
Set it to carnival music.
No, more like Benny Hill.
Yeah. Oh, the fearless leaders. Yeah.
We're so apologetic to anyone that's listening.
Yeah, read down below. You see the scrolling. It
All
says,
Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigations and events shows are moderated.
Oh no.
Moderated.
Any vulgar comments? There you go. It's all against all you guys.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but it says it will not be tolerated on their end, not our side.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Yeah, let me tell you. Enjoy the show.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna have to starting to hurt. Okay. Anyway,
I'll keep quiet. You just like
okay.
stop it.
That's
That's my show, for Christ's sake.
everything that you want to talk about.
I kind of feel like Raymond
Otherwise-
from Everybody's Got Raymond.
Yeah.
Great guy on my own show.
Oh, goodness.
We wanted to get together tonight. I mean, all of us are trying to get back into it. It's kind of like an episode of Lucy. We're never going to get back. Or on Carol Burnett when
Oh, Tim and Harvey Korman start laughing.
they start laughing.
Oh, right.
Now, for the record, we do have good weekly meetings where we cover a lot of stuff, but it's just it's a Wednesday, I guess.
It's so funny because this is supposed to be some real educational thing.
Oh, they're getting an education, all right.
Oh yeah, our Psychic Unite meetings online are probably, I would say, a lot more educational than this is. So it's just been kind of, although they're fun. Yep.
So thanks, Barbara. She says we need more Benny Hill. We do.
Mm-hmm.
And Linda says that we're making her the biggest smile. So really cool.
Well, okay, so I have a mission statement, and I don't know if anybody else has personal mission statements. I feel like if a company has one, and it's important enough for a company to have a mission statement, then shouldn't people have one too, so you know what your guiding foundation is? So anyway, mine is to enhance the life experience of others through love, support, education, and entertainment.
Ta-da!
Yes. And so,
So now she's going to put us on the spot now for us to come up with this.
yeah, no, you better have one.
Better have one right now. Come on.
Yes, the mind is going. I'm not even listening to her anymore.
You can wait till Psychic Unite meeting and then you can come up with it. But no, okay, so what that's for is that my goal in life, it's not about me because I, as an eternal spirit, have everything that I need, right? But not everybody else gets that. So my purpose in incarnating is to support other people. So, which is why I married this guy, because I'm kind of like his earthly spirit guide, because he needs one. So, and thank you all the rest of you people watching this who have also been supporting Scotty and helping him, because he reaches out to a lot of people, and I appreciate you filling in my gaps here. Okay, anyway, so to enhance the life experience of others, that's my mission statement, and I do that through love, support, education, and entertainment. So the first thing, it has to start with loving a person, and then supporting them. And part of supporting a person is by educating And then if you can educate in an entertaining way, icing on the cake. So that's why I love support, education, and entertainment. And Psychics Unite is part of that because it's a education and support thing. And I just love you guys, so it's kind of like that. But anyway, so yes, if I make you smile, then that's falls in alignment with what I'm trying to incarnate for. So there we go.
I think that's perfect.
That's off topic. So
Well,
Yeah.
the day I got married, they had me write mine. It was, I do.
whatever you want, honey, I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. But yeah.
But I mean, that's a good point though. The start though. I mean, and we were talking before we got on air tonight about, it's the time of the year that we need to start making our decisions on how this year is going to work for us. We do the what do you call those boards? Those vision boards.
Vision boards.
I'm still trying to do mine from last year. I checked out
That's right there.
3 books from that's what we did for our Psychics Unite meeting. It was like our second Psychics Unite meeting of last year was vision boards. And so I got some books from the library after that. But it's been a year and I haven't returned them yet because everything shut down for COVID. So I hope I don't owe any money on that one, but
Except for the library's open.
you'll get your books back.
Second mortgage to pay the late fee.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I think that's because we thought it would be really clever to have 2020 vision boards. So, but anyway.
Yeah, that really
that
hit it hard.
Yeah.
But
2020.
I found that if you set yourself out to do something and you give it an earnest effort and it just doesn't come to fruition, it's just that's not the alignment of it. You just kind of you release it, and let it go. Like I know right now what I'm trying to do with my own personal intention is just to set out to have more joy in my life, because I feel like attracting more joy and personally choosing joy is actually going to bring in the other things that I seek as well. So I'll let you know at the end of the year how that goes.
I wanted to seek out joy in my life, but Jen said no. All I want.
Well, you could always both have joy.
That's right. And Linda, the answer is yes, dear. Okay, not just okay and yes. It's yes, dear.
Yeah. But, one of the things that I realized, it kind of occurred to me a couple months ago that, how they say when you're a kid, you can be anything that you want to be when you grow up. And you can't do anything you want to do when you grow up, but you can be anything, because what you be is a choice at any given time. Remember when we were kids and you used to be able to pretend that you were anything, like, oh my gosh, we're running away from hot lava, or, whatever the crazy thing was, you had a fort and you were pirates or whatever. And you could be that just by thinking about it. And it occurred to me that I literally can be anything that I want to be. If I choose to be whatever in that moment, I can just go there mentally and be that. So that's for this year. If you want to be more joyful, just do it right now.
Oh yeah. And that's exactly what you do. Like yesterday, I personally I was sitting on my couch. I sent the intention and I thanked the universe for guiding me back to joy. And when I opened my eyes were immediately directed toward the falling snow. And I just got so bubbly like a little kid. And that's exactly what happens. It's a choice in that moment and just being open to receive those little moments that really build to big impacts.
Yep.
If you want to be something in life, they've always said you have to envision yourself in that life, because that's how you're going to get to be wherever you want to go to. You have to envision yourself and live it. And you start living it and learning from it, you'll become anything you want to become.
Absolutely.
So, and that's really what the website, I'm going to do one of those segues here, but that's really what the website is all about, where it's, people who maybe want to learn more about psychic, and mediums all want to learn more about their own abilities and and bring their abilities a step further. That's what Psychics Unite is all about. That's what I love about it. When I was first asked to be part of the project, I was like, but I'm not a psychic. Psycho, as she calls me, but not psychic. Okay? Yes. See, Scotty's known me for a few years, so
Yes.
so he knows that being the fact. But I like the fact that anyone can come there. Okay? That, I'm sure, I've seen a lot with Jenn where she talks about, growing up and how people, just today, I'll give you an example. I mentioned Psychics Unite to somebody, and they were like, really? You're working on psychic? Because that's what you guys know. That's what you get. And I think it's time that understanding goes further, that it's not a bunch of people who think, they're talking to the dead or something like that. This is something legit. And more and more we're seeing it all around us. So it's time the proper, like you said, Terri, a number of times in meetings, where we got to get Hollywood's vision of psychics out of the way and mediums and put back what it's really all about.
Right. Yeah. The whole fortune teller stereotype, and that's what people come to, like, oh, well, you should have known that you were psychic. We're not fortune tellers. That's some people.
Or read my mind.
Read my mind. Oh, what am I thinking?
No, my favorite is give me the lottery numbers.
Yes.
I don't want to be in someone else's mind usually. Like, that's not a place I like to hang out.
Right. Well, and I think sometimes with empaths, which are people who can experience what other people are feeling, sometimes they do go there, and it's not a place they want to be because, people have a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
But there is a lot of stigma around, and we've talked a lot about this in meetings, and I'm so grateful for this because I think, creating that unity and that support, understanding that there's part of our mission statement is to educate and to provide a really great example of what a psychic is. It has its own stigma and its own stereotypes that are really hard and hurtful sometimes, especially when you're trying so hard, when your whole goal is to help others in this like really loving, supportive way that's directly connected to source with no other agenda, and to have someone, act out from their past hurts or their past traumas, that gets very challenging sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. Daniel, it isn't fun to be an empath. There are a lot of people. A very first Psychics Unite meeting, we had a woman who was in her 20s, and she said, I tried to commit suicide when I was in high school because I was overwhelmed with the information that I was getting, and I couldn't handle it anymore. And that to me verified that this is so needed, because there is nobody who should feel like they can't get help for what they're experiencing, and that they can't, or that they have to suffer through this by themselves. Because sometimes, everybody thinks that, not everybody thinks, but a lot of people have the stereotype that, oh, wow, it's like this really cool thing to have psychic abilities and you can read everybody's mind. But oftentimes it's scary for people if they don't have the support that they need or understanding of what's really going on, or that they can set boundaries with spirits around them. It's very
because they don't know how to use it.
Mm-hmm. They don't know how to control it, or they just continue to get that negative feedback from society around them. Makes it very hard.
It can actually cause a lot of shame too. If you're not in a place where you feel like you can share who you are and be honest with others about who you are, how are you expected to be honest with yourself? And so you're going through living this double agent life, trying to fit the ideal of the people that you're around. It's very difficult. And in the end, it just doesn't work. That's when like little blow ups and catastrophes happen, and the universe is trying to align you into who you really are, but you may not feel safe enough to actually share that with others.
Right. Well, that's how this all started. Should I tell the story? Okay, I'll tell the story again. Okay, I'll try to squeeze it down a little. Met a lady. She had all these like animal pictures on her cubicle wall at work, and I said, "Oh, you got a lot of pets?" And she goes, "No, I just have fish, but they follow me around like pets." And so I said, "Oh, that's really interesting. So, what other abilities do you have?" And then she launched into a story about how she had a very serious accident. She saw she saw a girl on the operating table, felt very bad for her because she was so badly hurt and the doctors were working so frantically. And then she realized it was her. She goes back into her body. And after that near-death experience, then she had psychic abilities. But because of her family's religious beliefs and social, constructs that they had around this, she couldn't tell anybody about it. And so she felt very stressed by that and very isolated because she couldn't be authentic about who she was. And I figured, there's got to be lots of other people like that. And yes, there are. A lot of people experience things. And it's not just the kind of known psychic stuff like mediumship or things like that, but it's as simple as just having that intuition about things. Like, I don't know how I know this, but I just feel like I have a feeling about this. Or a lot of people will have precognition about something. Like they may have a dream and then something comes true, or they know when somebody's going to die, or they know when somebody's pregnant before the pregnant person knows they're pregnant, or they, there's little things like that people don't necessarily think of as psychic, but they'll just, use a softer word like intuitive or intuition. And we had a really good discussion about the difference between psychic and intuition. Thank you, Devin, because that was her topic idea. But that a lot of people have that, but it's not recognized as psychic. Even myself, I didn't acknowledge myself as really having any psychic abilities until a little over a year ago. I was listening to a lady talk about the different clairs, and she was talking about claircognition and just how a thought comes to your head, and it's just something that or it's a synchronicity or something like that. Just as something, that's a great idea. That just came to me. That just having that idea, having that solution that comes to you, just pops in there. That's claircognition. And a lot of people don't think of that as a psychic thing. It's just, I just thought about it. But that's actually what that is. You're just kind of tuning in or channeling the bigger pool of information out there. So,
I'm reading through all these comments that are coming up because they're scrolling up really fast. But it's, it's the amazing thing when I started coming to the meetings, the actual Psychic Unites meetings, not the website meetings, but you just sit and listen, and you listen to the people talking about, what they're going through emotionally with this and the problems that they've been facing, and they feel like the ridicule some people have been facing. I mean, it's a huge support group for everybody because, Devin, Jenn, Scotty, they all explain what's really going on, and those people realize they're not alone. And they're not crazy, like you said. They're not, unusual, okay? That this is something that's pretty much the norm. And at that point, people start to feel better about themselves. And that's the great thing about Psychics Unite. It's going to bring everybody together to make sure that everyone that's out there gets a better understanding of what's going on and has a place to turn to in an emergency. And you can even talk about the psychic emergency.
Oh, psychic response team.
Response team. Thank you. Yeah.
We want to create teams that have. Let's see. I'm going to read this here. I've always had the ability to feel others' emotions, but certainly didn't understand my whole life what it was. I've recently been reaching out and trying to figure out how to best utilize my ability for the better. Yep, that's great, because once people realize that they actually can use it, in a positive way, and it can be a benefit rather than just something that's overwhelming, that it's a huge turning point for a lot of people.
I know Jenn talks about this a lot too, about in even at the beginning of my classes, we always discuss this on the biggest thing that anyone can do is know the difference between your energy and someone else's energy. By far, that's the number one place you have to start. And once you understand those differences, then you can see during the day, is it something that is mine, or is it something that is yours? You know what I mean? And that's where it's got to start. Don't you agree, Jenn?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And once you start to figure that out, you can release the energy that's not yours and let it go the same way you would if you had a thought that while you're in meditation or something, you can just let that go. But that is really the best place to start. And Scotty is the perfect person to start that with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, because without people like, Psychics Unite and all the people in this and being able to share, people don't know what to do with it. And then they run their whole lives thinking that they're weird or something's wrong when they can really just flip it by just doing this, or doing that. And then all of a sudden their life is completely different, just because they know that spirit now.
Mm-hmm.
Working with my empathic abilities was such an eye-opener that I actually got, it's my topic for the show tomorrow night, and how extreme it was once I understood just the percentage amount of things that I was experiencing weren't my own, and what I had to do to try and go through and clean that up, because it is exhausting. And it's like you get upset with yourself too, because you're feeling something one minute and the next moment it shifts and you think it's all your own that you've got to fix, when it's not like that at all. But anyone who's an empath who's not aware of what it is, or that they're impacted by it, and they're just going through owning everyone else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing that's really exhausting for people is trying to please everyone else so that they do fit that mold, instead of honoring who they are and just accepting who they are. Because I think when you accept yourself completely, that's when other people start to see that too. One of the big things I always say is lead by example. And the best way that you can lead by example is just by being truly authentically who you are.
Yep. Yeah. And if somebody doesn't give you that opportunity to do that, it's hard to do. And that's why I tell people, you know what? Talk about what you experience. Don't be afraid of it. Talk about it. If somebody doesn't get it, they don't get it. That's them. Okay? But if you don't talk about what you experience, then nobody else will be able to do it too. When you acknowledge your experiences and say, hey, this is me, that empowers other people to do the same, because they see that it can be done. So talk about what you experience. Don't be afraid about it. Like I used to start out with, just to kind of check it, I would be like, oh yeah, my husband is a paranormal investigator. And I would put that out there to see how people would respond. If they were into that, then I would move on to, oh, he's a psychic medium. And then we would go there, and then people, and oftentimes people were like, oh, that's so cool. So more often than not, I did not get a negative feedback on it. Very rarely do I get negative feedback on it. So that's why I tell people, just, be open and talk about it, because if you empower one person, they can empower another person, and so on and so on. And it takes that kind of openness to transform how society feels about it. So, and then it gets to the point where, like, for example, one time I was talking about it I was doing a well-being study, and they had me all hooked up with all these EEGs and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there with these two young college grads who are running it, and so I started talking about the psychic stuff, and the one guy, he had some experience, like his grandma had something, and so he started talking about it. Well, now the other guy, he's outnumbered 2-1, and he doesn't have anything. So now, instead of because the other guy validated it, that it was cool, his grandma had it. And so now he's thinking, well, I might have had a dream about it. And he's like trying to figure out, have I had anything?
Exactly the opposite of what Linda has right there.
Sometimes we
Right.
talk about our experiences we know
Exact
are
opposite.
real, and family members tell you that you're making it up or imagining it. And that's what you had. So I can't be in my own home. Yeah. And yeah, that's why we do that, because we do have this group because of that, because a lot of people, and you know what? Not everybody is expected to know everything.
None of us do. Nobody knows.
And
And if you do, run away from them if they say they do. Seriously, I'm serious. Because nobody knows everything. We learn until we're gone.
My mother-in-law said to me, she's like, don't you want to go back to college and finish your education? And I said, if I could finish my education, I'd have to change my name to God. Because you can't finish your education, right? And so, there was a time when we maybe, no, I know you had it since you were, young, and a lot of people have had it since, they were very young, but some other people have kind of come to an understanding of it over time. I didn't understand what it was at first, and it took me a while. So just because somebody doesn't get it today doesn't mean that they won't eventually get it. And oftentimes it's your ability to talk about it that allows them that, or plants that seed that maybe, oh, okay, well, she said something. And actually, I have a sheet here. I put this up at, fairs and stuff. We have a bulletin board that we have information on. So that way, if people are coming by, they can just read it. And I'm going to read some of the things off of this. And this is out there to help people understand that it's not just fortune tellers. Okay, so psychic includes a range of natural sensory perceptions. They are neither demonic nor forms of mental illness. Seeing light is the brain's processing the sense or the sensed energy of electromagnetic transverse waves. Hearing sound is the brain processing the sensed energy of longitudinal waves. Tasting and smelling is the brain processing the sensed energy of chemicals. Psychic senses are the brain processing information from energy too. So, I mean, it's just our brain is just constantly processing energy. Okay, it's just another form that we're processing. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. Those with a sensitivity to spirit energy are more likely to have autoimmune diseases. And that's something that's why it's important to understand what this is, because, my theory around why that is because people who have these abilities tend to have to deal with a lot of stress around that. And additional stress can trigger immune responses. So that could be why people who have psychic abilities are more likely to have autoimmune diseases. This was an interesting one. We got this from Chuck Kennedy. Those with a sensitivity to spirit are more likely to have, we did that one. Because the brain uses so much glucose, a medium giving a reading has an average blood sugar drop of 30 points over an hour. That's kind of interesting too.
Scotty, you got to work on that. I'm a type 2 diabetic. Okay,
I am too, and whenever my blood sugar's high,
You're reading.
I'm going to do readings. Okay, my blood sugar's high. I go do readings.
I'll be the only psychic medium.
Just ate a donut. I got to do 2 hours of readings.
Yeah. Like Richard Simmons would be, I ate a donut. I got to go do some stairs.
And a donut, I gotta go do some
I got to
readings.
do readings.
So what did you say, Devin? Didn't.
Oh, I said I'd be the only psychic medium giving readings with a candy bar.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you went. Mine's low. Mine's always low, so I'm right with you. I'll be having a candy bar too.
But that is a good thing, though, too, between readings. And just real quick, Tina Marie, yes, we know Chuck is doing much better. So just want to let you know. We talked with a person that knew him. So, but yes, he's doing well. So we sent a lot of love to him, and I'm glad that he's doing better. But also, hi, Jenny Davis. Jenny Davis is starting our Twin Cities group. in Minneapolis. We'll have our first meeting in March. So, hi, Jenny. Welcome to the show tonight. So, excited to have everybody here. So, thank you guys for the wonderful comments. But blood sugar is a big thing. I mean, a lot of people that I always tell me as I do readings, and I'm so tired after I do readings, and I said, okay, two things. You're doing it wrong. First of all, you're exchanging energy with the person you're reading, or you're exchanging energy with spirit. Stop. That's got to be the first thing. So that's exactly what we talked about being an empath earlier. You know, you have to stop. The other thing is you should eat or drink something between each reading because that keeps your energy up. But we don't. You know, we go all day. You know, like where Devin and I met at Victory of Light. You know, I do readings for 8 hours, 9 hours straight. And straight because you're booked. You know, and so if you don't get anything or you don't have some candy or some cookies or something underneath your chair, and you know you're going to be done. So, but that's the things too. That's the other things that Psychics Unite gives is we're willing to talk about how we do readings, how this works, and how you should work it together. So it's a place for all of us to learn from each other. You know, it's a place. You know, I've learned so much from Tina Marie. In what she's brought, you know, and we're all doing the same things. We're all teaching the same thing. We do it in different ways, but we're all teaching it. Tina Marie says that all the time, and that's great.
And I just want to clarify that we are not condoning that to do readings you load up on junk food. Okay, have some apples
or donuts.
Like that. Okay, try to eat some healthy foods. That will probably be more. The vibrational energy of that will be better for your readings. Okay.
And what?
I just see them sitting in Dunkin' Donuts with a cell phone.
Oh no! Hey! But you know what, Devin and Scotty, we are covered this time because we've got him. We'll send him for food.
Yeah.
And do you think if you send me for donuts, that there's going to be donuts that's going to make it back?
They're best.
Well, you just have to get 2 dozen, one to eat on the way and one to give
One for me to eat and the other one.
That's right. That's right. It's like
you got to think smart.
People, you know.
So we didn't see this in the chat room, but Tina Marie wants us to talk to Daniel about the stone trick and hugging trees, and this is what Daniel said.
We often laugh at our dog saying that she licks my head to release the negative energy. She will not lick anyone else. Very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, and I wonder if that's almost, because I heard somebody talk about being an empath, and one of the things that the purposes of being an empath is to take on that excess energy from somebody and transmute that back into the earth, or to release that energy for that person.
It's more releasing that energy.
Yeah. And that's, dogs are empathic. You know, they are. And I've heard somebody say that sometimes dogs will take on the illness for their human partner to help release that from their partner or their feeder care person.
But the biggest thing to do is when you're getting overloaded is a tree. And I agree with Tina Marie there all the time. Trees are connected. They have the roots that go everywhere. Trees help other trees. You know, if they're in the forest, if a tree's having problems, it's sending its nutrients. We did that show about that. On what was it, on Netflix? We saw that.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube.
There's a lady who had done research on. She has a TED Talk on it too about trees. Actually, there's a video. I don't know if it was a PBS one, but it's called What Plants Talk About. You can look up What Plants Talk About on YouTube and find that one. I think it was maybe a Nova episode or something, but that goes into how plants communicate, and which makes me wonder if, you know, even eating a plant-based diet is a little harsh on people and plant people. So anyway, yeah, I know. Go ahead.
I was just going to add, if you're in a place where you kind of need a quick fix and you can't quite go out to get a tree, you can envision a white light that either starts at your heart center or you're around your belly button, and grow that upward and outward so that it fills up your entire body and actually pushes through all the layers of your auras. If you're having a hard time discharging negative energy, recognizing that it's not yours, setting the intention to release it, asking your guides to help you, and white lighting it will immediately give you some relief. And then using that white light as a protection going forward so that you can observe, not absorb. As an empath, what we want to do is get enough information to be able to observe it, but we don't want to take that on, and we certainly don't want to keep it.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. You were looking at.
So just
okay,
keep talking.
keep going. And Steve, you had asked something before, and then we got sidetracked, and I can't remember.
Response team.
Oh, psychic response team. Yes, thank you.
Right.
You know, Terri doesn't host shows much.
Well, I'm in the moment. So if somebody says something else, I'm there. Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad he remembered. I forgot what I asked.
Okay, you two are very good. I know Jenn remembered.
That's why we're sitting next to each other. Oh, over here. We're sitting next to each other.
Yeah, but if you look at the screen,
You're that one.
Steve and Terri are right next to each other.
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
High five. Whoops, wait. Oh, this way. High five. Yay.
And then we make the psychic medium triangle.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I do.
I feel like the cream filling. I don't know.
This is what I used to call Scott was the psychic and I was the sidekick. So and I don't know if that's the case with Steve and Jenn, if you have the psychic and the sidekick, but yeah, that's
Yeah, she said something psychic, and I get the sidekick from her.
I told him, I said, when we go to do shows, he's going to be doing all the other stuff. He's taking care of the appointments and everything else, and I'll just do the reading.
Hey, Devin knows I do that very well. Okay.
No, you table sit excellently. Thank
That's
you.
correct.
I'm loaning him out to you, too.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you guys notice how Terri enunciated so she doesn't get the beginning of the show again? Between sidekick and psychic,
sidekick.
Yeah.
which I didn't do, and then that got us into the path.
And then,
Oh yeah. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Well, yeah, go back and watch the beginning of the show.
Okay, so the emergency response team.
Go back and watch the beginning again.
Okay, psychic response. Okay. All right. The concept behind the psychic response team is to have, there's that, I don't know what movie it's from, but there's, who are you going to call? Anyway, there's.
In your house, I'd have no clue.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Who are you going to call? Anyway, it's on the other side, sweetheart.
No, it's right
No,
there.
it's on that side.
Who are you going to
Oh,
call?
well, who are you going to call on that side?
So, but the idea is, when you have some type of an issue, who do you call? So we would like to have a psychic response teams where there's a team of people that work together, where you have a medium, medical, intuitive, psychologist, whatever, channeler, healer, whatever. You could have a range of people that have different specialties so that when somebody has remote viewer, again, Chuck Kennedy, great. He has created this thing called the Psy Project where they find missing children. So again, if you have any type of situation in which there's possibly a psychic solution to that or psychic help to that, that you could call, and then we could give that to a team, and then the team would work on that and figure out who's the most appropriate person to help with that, or can they work together to solve that problem, to work for that person. So that's something that we would like to do because there's a lot of different gifts that people have that collectively can be incredibly helpful in many situations.
So as soon as they fill out the form on the website, that will go to every member of the team. So at one point, somebody's going to see it right away. If it's something that needs help. I mean, if there's 10 people, one of the 10 is going to get that fairly quickly and can contact the others if requires that quick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Thanks, Tina Marie, for putting that in. I mean, for us, that's exactly how to do it. I do that before I ghost hunt. I do that every time. Before I get onto a site, I'll pick up a rock of the house so that or the building, and so I get more attached to the building right away before I investigate. And then the rest of the night, I keep that in my pocket. I keep that energy, and I let that energy, manifest or build into the stone. And at the end of the night, I always say, thank you very much for our encounter tonight. And I take that stone and I put it down. And then I say, you need to stay here. I'm leaving. And then I step off the property. But because that gives them and I a clear definition. Don't stay where I am. Don't be where I am. Yeah. Thanks, Tina Marie. That was awesome.
Yeah. Tina Marie is a wealth of knowledge. She is the chapter director for our South Bend, Southern Michigan, Northern Indiana group. Mm-hmm. And she does a phenomenal job and a wealth of information. So thank you.
We seek her out for trainings and stuff. She does.
And she teaches Reiki, doesn't she, Jenn?
Yes, she does. She sure does.
She's fantastic. So
love Tina Marie.
So,
yes, we do. And she makes fabulous hats. Let's not forget about the hats.
yes.
That's who made those hats?
Yes.
Hairless
Tina Marie.
Factory. Check that out. She's amazing. She's very creative. Oops, there's my little thing.
So we're talking about our gifts and stuff. Yes, we all are, Tina Marie. We all. She goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to have so many like minds together. That's what the coolest thing about it, and that's why Psychics Unite is so neat, because we meet each other at events, we meet each other at shows, we meet each other on the street or down the road or whatever we do. But this way we can stay connected. We can share ideas, grow from each other, learn from each other. To me, that's so exciting. That that's what it's all about.
See, all the people have been asking questions in the chat room, the comments. That's what's perfect for the Psychic Unite meetings, to come in and ask the question, and this way it can be discussed, and you'll get that same advice that you're getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true.
Yep. There's a question there from Kelly. She had a question here.
Okay.
You can click on that there. I was just going to ask, from a metaphysical standpoint, aren't you supposed to match and balance the energy of the person you're working on? Any energy work, like a neutral aura, is best to work with a chaos state aura type. That I don't know about. Does anybody else know anything on that one? And
Jenn,
I don't
Devin, any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like energy healing stuff so much. But.
Well, I think what we're taught is that there are like energy types. And so some of us are a good fit energetically, and some of us are not. And it is quite possible as a psychic medium, if you have someone sit at your table or sit in your space for a reading, that it's just not going to be what we call like energy. And that may not be the most supportive energy match for a really good reading. And a psychic should be comfortable enough to say, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work out. We just can't. I can't. Nothing's coming through. The reading's not going to work. And that's why it's, I think, so beneficial to know as many beautiful psychic mediums as you can, because then you can say, but this is someone I think that might be a really good fit for you, and you can actually leave them with something to take away with. But there, as far as matching like for like, I don't think you want to go to the point where you're matching someone 100%, because you want your own. Every psychic medium reads differently based on their own life experiences, and so often when someone sits at my table, the first thing I hear is, I don't know why, but I was just drawn to you. And what that is their guide saying, hey, she's in the right energy and she has the right experiences to be able to read for you for your highest and greatest good.
Yeah, the way I've heard it is the frequency, like we're on the same frequency with the person that we're reading, or the person that we're doing any kind of energy work with. It's just the frequency is the same.
Yeah, we're just tapping into that person's energy. That's what it is. We don't have to be the like to do the work of it. even to heal somebody, we don't need to do that because we're not doing that work anyway. Spirit is. We're just allowing it to come through us to do the work. So we don't need to be of that same energy. We just need to be in the right mind to be the vessel or the instrument for them to hear us or hear the message. That's that's the biggest thing that has and now I forgot something I was going to say.
That was very well said, though. That be the perfect instrument. That really is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Just the humble messenger.
All right. Is there anybody else who had a question? You didn't post Tina Marie's response to that, too?
That's to Linda.
Oh, I thought it was to
You can put it up.
this one. Oh, no, Kelly. As a healer, we have to be a higher vibration than the person we are working on to help them return to the best vibrational state.
Correct.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
pretty
Awesome.
accurate.
Thanks, Tina Marie.
Yep. Let's see. Another thing I was just going to bring up. This is something that we have done with, before I said we put up a bulletin board and we let people, just as they're walking by, they may not, just want to stop and talk and get information, but they just, we just put information out there to educate people. And, I have the psychic awareness sheet for people. But on another bulletin board,
Steve, you want a copy of that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
the psychic
I felt that in your head. I was like, damn, I'm reading his mind.
Yeah, actually, he would be like, have them send me a copy of that.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that. Maybe it was you, Jen, that I picked up.
Okay, so another thing that we do is we have another bulletin board that has a sheet that just says, share what you experience. And I have these colorful little cards that are on there, and they have different things. And you see that they have, I don't know if you can, it's a mirror image here. It's not mirror image. Anyway, so you can see that there's signatures or little initials on there. So what we do is we put out, now these are some older ones. The newer ones will say, for example, it'll say clairaudient, and then it will give an explanation of what it is underneath. Okay, so then these are all on this, like a corkboard. And then as people come by, they can initial the ones that they have. This allows people to see all sorts of different psychic abilities, that it's not just a medium or something like that. There's a wide range of experiences. So they learn about the different experiences, but then they can give feedback by putting what they experience. And then it shows other people as the next person comes by that, oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of people here who have that. So for example, where was the near-death experience? Near-death experience. This is just 1 2-day event. And I don't know if you can see that, but you can see how many people signed on the near-death experiencer sheet.
There's probably about 12, 15 there.
Or astral projectors, a whole bunch. Again, I don't know if you can see that very well. But, it surprises me at how common some of these things are and how many people.
But it surprises the people that have it, too. That's the biggest one. Because they realize, oh, look, I'm not alone here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is a normal, regular thing for people.
Right.
So it's really interesting, and it helps other people. Like we did one show that was, it's called Willie Street Fair, and thank you, and it was just kind of it wasn't a psychic fair. It was just kind of a street fair, and we had
a parade.
The sheet out there. Yeah, we had a parade and everything, so it was really cool. But we had the
Ghostbusters
bulletin board out there with this on, and by the end of the 2 days, these things were just filled up. And there was a guy that came by, and he was very, I'm not going to say skeptical. He was more naysayer, because a skeptic is a person who is still considering it, as opposed to a naysayer like, it doesn't have it. And so he made this comment of, well, there's never been any studies proving that psychic abilities are real. And standing in front of this board where all of these people who don't know each other have validated they have these experiences. And so to be able to have that tool there to say, okay, you may not understand it, and that's okay, but look at how many people have come out just in these 2 days and said they experienced these things. You know, you can disagree with any study or whatever you want, but are you going to say that all these people are lying? And that's why I think it's a good tool. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Terri, I mean, do you feel like a lot of people who naysay it's because it's touching something that they're not comfortable with discussing? There's a part of this whole concept, and psychic abilities are not the only topic, right, that touches on this, but the people who resist the most, who are the least likely to open this concept up into them, there may be something there that is directly or subconsciously impacting them that they're not ready to work with, or they're a little uncomfortable talking about.
See, that hurts religion.
Yeah.
Because certain people that are religious just say, no, you die, you're in the ground, and you're waiting for that day where he calls everybody back up. So who are you speaking with?
Right. And everything comes up. I heard a good statement on the simulation hypothesis show that I promote all the time, but they said that all scientific investigation starts with one or more philosophical standpoints. So, for example, if your philosophical standpoint is that nothing exists other than what is material, and that is your philosophical basis, that is going to bias the way you do scientific research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you come from the perspective that, or your philosophical view is that there is a specific deity and there is a heaven and a hell afterwards, that is going to bias the way you look at things and the way you're open to things. So it may very well be that there's something else going on, but oftentimes it's what philosophical standpoint is the person viewing the world. What is their worldview or their universe view, which is going to affect whether they can accept it, whether it fits in or not. Does it create a cognitive dissonance because it doesn't fit into their philosophical viewpoint? And I think that's what makes people uncomfortable, because it doesn't fit with the view that they have.
You know, Jen, I mean, you know, even this one goes into ghost hunting. You know, too many people want to go in and debunk. Well, then you've already set yourself up to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or too many people want to go in to prove. Then you've already set yourself up to fail. You know, why don't you just go in and find out what's happening?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
See, when we go in, she gets a little upset at me sometimes. I don't even want to hear what the homeowner has to say before I go in. I mean, I've been doing this
upset about
40-something years. You know, even like we go to a public location and they want to give you the walkthrough.
Right.
It's like, all right, just tell me what doors I can't go in, that I'm going to fall down a flight of stairs, or the floor's going to cave in. Other than that, I don't want to hear. Let it happen. Because then when it happens, it's not trying to debunk it. I want to make sure that it's actually happening, that it's real what's taking place, and it's not, you know, a generator someplace making a noise or something. But other than that, you experience it. And you grow from there doing that. And I think that's something that, even as I said, as a paranormal investigator, I think these meetings are so important, even for paranormal investigators. Even if you don't have much to say in it, you know, talking about abilities, mute your mic and just listen and learn, because that's what I try to do when I'm at those meetings.
Mm-hmm. You know, I know, Jen, you investigate very similar to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Of going in and just being open to the room and becoming one with the building or the home that you're in, and it's really about helping the homeowner or the business owner that you're there for.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we all get caught up as investigators when they say, you know, at 1:00 every morning, this chair spins around on its own, and they set up all the cameras pointing at that one chair, and heck, they're sitting at the end of their chair waiting for 1:00 in the morning. And 1:00 comes around, and as the Italians say, nothing happens. Okay? You sat there for 4 hours looking at this stupid chair that didn't move the whole night. But while you were watching that chair, behind you, the door was opening and closing. The bottle of water was flipping up and down, trying to catch your attention. So, just experience it. Become part of the environment. Like you say, use the rock. I think my problem was when I left, I used to throw the rock through the window. Okay, instead of putting it down. But that was the New Yorker in me. But you do. I mean, even Julie, Jenn will say, we sit in a room and just listen to the room. Become part of the room. So you understand what's happening in the room, what you're feeling in the room.
Right.
And you'd be amazed at the stuff you find that happens. You don't need a PX or an Ovilus or an SLS camera, carry around with you. You're going to experience stuff. And there's nothing like the real experience.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I was trying to find on my phone today. I had watched a TED Talk today, and this lady was describing, and I can't remember if it was, about being open-minded or whatever, but she was describing two types of things within an army. You have the warriors and you have the scouts, and the scouts have to go out and figure out what's going on, and then the warriors come in and defend and they fight. And she said so often people take on the persona of the warrior. That is, I have a side and I'm going to fight for that side. Whereas the scout, their job is to just go out and find out what's out there and find out as accurately as possible, because the more accurate their information is, the better their army can function. So if we stop acting as warriors to defend your side so much and just act as a scout to go out and find out as much information as you possibly can, you will be able to do better in functioning with other people, because you're not trying to defend anything or fight somebody, you're merely trying to get information. And that having that mindset changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I agree too, Steve and Jenn, in the fact that, I always believe when we investigate, only one person out of the whole team should have all the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only one.
Yep.
And then that person is, when somebody says something, can validate and go, yes,
right,
that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
See, we have Julie.
That's, I was going to say, we have Julie.
She's our historian, let's say, for instance, and she researches the property that we're going to. She learns all about it. But again, it's something personal. I don't want to hear anything about it unless we're coming up with a name someplace that we keep getting repetitive. We're hearing, John, and they're not talking about the bathroom, that they're actually talking about a person, and she can validate and say, yes, the previous homeowner was John Smith, who lived here for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Julie's actually our contact person when we do have the people call here or in an email, and all of that goes to Julie and to Paul, and they actually are the ones who make that first initial contact. So it's so much easier than have to do.
Well, part of the reason why too was they saw a psychic medium in the group.
Yeah.
So people were calling for information from her, and she was the one handling the calls. So all of a sudden, this 20-minute conversation turned into 4 hours and 22 minutes, over that. So
it's like, no, I can't keep doing this. So, so thank you so much, Julie. I love you.
We went with shadow hunters to that hospital in Peoria. I always forget the name of it. Anyway, we were there, and one of the ladies that was there with us that day, she wrote the book on it. And so she had all the knowledge. I mean, the other guys had been there before, so they had some. But as I was walking around saying all this stuff, by the end of the night, she said, you could have wrote that book. And that just proved what we were encountering that night was matching all the other stuff that other groups have had, people that used to work there had, so it was kind of cool. So Tina Marie says,
I love her.
All paranormal investigators should have an oh shit bag for when things go down. Sage, crystals, religious medallion, salt, black salt, brick dust, Florida water, So you shouldn't need to have all of the info about a property ahead of time before going in. Yep.
I agree 100%. And actually, Tina Marie, today I was watching a video where someone has, they had a wooden box, but their box fell apart, and now they have it in like a toolbox. And they have all of that stuff in there so that they are, they keep it in their car, and whenever they need it, they can. So I was actually thinking about all the things that I need to take with me when we do investigations. I mean, that's so timely today.
But I think also the preparation in advance and setting the boundaries, and letting or working with your guides. I know with Scotty, he works with his guide Steve to moderate what's going on. So
Thanks, Greg. Pollock Hospital. Greg remembers.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the more we're prepared. But the other thing, just like in readings and stuff, we're going in for our highest and best good. We're not gonna draw upon lower energies. It's a little different when you go into a house that if people are having problems. But a lot of times people go into the house and think they're lower energies when they're actually higher energies, and they're just perceiving them wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Once again, biased by what your philosophical view is.
I had
If
one
your
guy
philosophical view is it's a demon.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are biased by Hollywood and our current perceptions of ghosts and psychic mediums and demons. And not just Hollywood, but TV as well. Like the amount of ghost hunting and paranormal TV shows that come through, and for dramatic effect, add in all of this really scary talk to a scenario. Like people are going to watch that and take that away and apply that to the shadows in their corners.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually been told on an investigation once, you're doing it wrong. This is by a homeowner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we
Wait,
don't.
And I'm sitting there at like 1 a.m. on a Saturday night. I'm sitting in their house helping them, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I can get cranky after a while. And she says, "No, I was watching Ghost Hunt or Ghost Adventures," and I was like, "Please, it's television, okay?" What was that? Okay, I can get a job now working on one of those shows.
Yeah.
It's temperament. He'll tell you.
What were you going to say, Jen?
Another thing that people do is they will tell people they have like some negative attachment, or they have especially like a demonic presence that's attached to them. And it's like, whenever I hear that, I'm like, well, who told you that? First of all, like, nobody should be telling you that without actually coming there to your home and finding out what's going on.
I just saw that.
Yes.
Glad I put it up, huh?
Right before you put it there, I just saw it down the bottom there.
But yeah, I agree with you, Jen. The other thing that gets me is I once had a restaurant that wanted me to come in and investigate for them because no one ever has, but they wanted it to be a ghost restaurant. So I had a promise that it was going to be haunted. And I said to them, I can't promise anything. I have never even been there. So I don't know what's going on. So, but if you come, you got to state it so that way we can say Scotty Rorek says it's haunted. No, Scotty Rorek only say it's haunted if he goes there and finds out it's haunted. If it's a piece of crap, and it's a piece of crap, and you can say Scotty Rorek calls it a piece of crap. He didn't like it, so I never went. You
should have a thing. This place is haunted. Bring your own spirits.
Yeah.
BYOS. This place is a BYOS. But that's the thing too. Like most people forget that spirits, they're not pets. Ghosts aren't pets. They're humans. They're beings. They have free will. There's a universal free will. They're not going to play on command or show up on command. No one can say yes. I promise you that this is going to happen. That'd be like saying, if you ask so and so out, I promise she'll say yes. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. The homeowners, a lot of time, homeowners just want to be as close to being on TV as possible. That's why they want us to do it the way the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
We did a home where was it? Well, it was here in Indiana, and there was another team that had investigated there. And I'll leave the team out. That some people actually know who the team is, and they made the homeowners leave the house so that they could film their episode that was there, and then they pieced in video of the homeowners, like they would say, like Bobby Mackey's place or something. This happened, and they'd have a picture of the homeowner, going like that, and would piece it together.
Yeah.
And they didn't say any of this stuff, and that's what they put out on the web and everything else. So, you got to really be careful. Paranormal investigators really need to be careful what you tell people when you're inside their home. You don't want to tell them that, Beelzebub is waiting, in the closet in your kid's room. Otherwise, that kid's never going to sleep again.
Yeah, we had that, Tim Miley. Yes, Tina Marie, I have my containment unit is not full, so it's still good shape. Right, the green light's on, everything's good. The red light, once the green light comes on, it's contained. I got my ghost box right over there.
Should I grab it?
You just put them on in there.
Yeah, Kelly said,
The best around here is what happens is we get phone calls and we will be asked, how can I get in touch with the people from TAPS? Well, I don't know. What do I look like, their secretary?
Here you go, Tina Marie.
Here, we've got the
Well, there you go. He's got his.
There you go.
Yep, it's got wheels on the bottom, so you can,
roll it out.
Take it into the place where the ghosts are, so you don't have to go in there. And there's actually a ghost in there right now. Ooh. And
Does it light up?
I think it's where we store sunglasses.
Yeah,
right now.
because you're not supposed to look at the streams.
That's right.
That's right.
Don't look at the trap. I looked at the trap. Oh.
No Kelly stories.
Yeah, I love that one.
But we were at a place that they were remodeling this place to sell, and I was with Tim Miley. I was with Tim Miley with it, and they actually had a group in there before that told them that there was a portal in the basement that's bringing all these negative energies in, and you're going to have a hard time selling this house. And I walked in, and 15 minutes later, there was no portals, and the lady goes, "Oh, I didn't figure it either." But, it's just so sad. There's other people that have almost sold their houses because people say there's demons in them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go back to a homeowner. We'll tell them what, personal experiences that we had, what audio or video evidence we have. We always share that with them and stuff. They say, is this really bad or anything? That's for you to decide. We're here. You asked us to come in. We came in, and at least you can tell people you're not crazy. You do hear voices talking in the room. Disembodied voices and stuff. That's basically all I can prove for you. I can't prove anything else. You talk about science before. We had a little kid once in one of our presentations who tested my New York attitude really quick. When she raised her hand and she said, "Well, my teacher is a scientist, and he said ghosts aren't real." And I was like, so I tried to play it off, but this little girl didn't stop. Okay, so quick thinking, Steve said, "Okay, here's my hand." I said, so I had a bottle. I'll do it with the water because you can see it better. I was like, here's a bottle of water. Scientists can tell you the size of it, the capacity of water it holds, how much water is inside of it, and everything else. Here's a ghost. They can't tell you anything about it because science only looks at the physical, like you said before, and not anything else. So
right.
There's your argument for your scientists, and
Well, I use the example that science is really just testing ideas, and science is about measurement. Okay, so you're measuring distance or whatever. But but the thing is, if you can't measure something, you can't do science on it. You can't test it, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have the equipment, like, for example, if you don't have a ruler and you need to measure something or test something and distance is a part of that, you can't do it. You can't prove anything. We had to come up with, what is the standard units of measure? What are mathematics? All of these things, all of these constructs and ideas had to be developed before any type of science can be done. I mean, when you look at just astronomy alone, where we had these ideas of what the universe was like, but every year we're finding new pieces of information which are adding to the picture, because our idea of what the universe isn't accurate. It's just based on what we have so far. Okay, and that's why it's always changing. And so if we can constantly be changing what we view about the universe, or even whether something's a planet in our solar system or not, we can't even figure that out, then how are we supposed to test something that we cannot measure yet? So that's one of the things. And then I go into, there's different aspects of scientific investigation. So your first thing is your question. You have to ask the right question. Now, if anything is wrong or flawed in any of these four things, you're going to get flawed information. If you ask the question, why is the sky green? Doesn't matter what kind of work you do, if you're trying to get the answer that the sky is green, it's not going to come out right. You have to have the right question. Okay. The second one is you have to have the right method. So you have to, once you have an idea or something you want to question, you have to have a method for testing it. But if your method is flawed, you're not going to get the right information. Third, data collection. If you don't get the right or have flaws in your data collection, or you don't collect enough or the right type of information, you will not be able to come to the proper conclusion. And the last one is your interpretation. Now you have all of this data, how are you going to interpret what that means? Now with mathematics, it's pretty simple. It either adds up or it doesn't. But with science, you have to take a bunch of data points, maybe have them on a chart, and then go, okay, based on this, do we think it's this or that? Like I do clinical trials, right? So when you have to test a whole bunch of different people, because one body is going to respond differently to a pharmaceutical compound than another person's body. So you have to test all these people, get a collection of data, and then say, based on this, are we going to say it's safe or is it not safe? What do we decide is the safe level? So there's all sorts of variations that can go into something like that. And it can be biased by, again, what your philosophical viewpoint is. So there's so many different things that can corrupt the testing of an idea that people, like I had all these up on the bulletin board, right? And this guy comes by and goes, well, I believe in science. Well, I believe in
science too.
Accurate science. Okay? Because how many times in history have we thought something was one thing, but we didn't have enough data, or we didn't have the right question, or we didn't have the right philosophical viewpoint, and we came to the wrong conclusion. So you have to look at, is this science that you're believing in, is it completely 100% accurate, or is it based on human interpretation?
Yeah.
Parapsychology.
Yeah.
It really goes into that. If you ever talk to Lloyd Auerbach or any of them, I mean, he rips us apart. Basically, most paranormal investigators, because of the way, if you're going to investigate from a scientific side, the paranormal, the parameters you need to follow, and you need to be there 4 or 5 days. And I'm looking at when he said it, I looked at her, I was like, after 4 hours, I'm ready to go home. But 4 or 5 days. I ain't spending 4 or 5 days in somebody's house. I want to leave, okay?
By the way, if we didn't see it when we were talking, Terri was talking there. Tina Marie was talking about don't crossing the streams in the men's bathroom. So Tina Marie, watch the beginning of the show. It's just tying in.
She missed me.
You missed it, but
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a theme tonight. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tag that on the post so everybody can watch the replay. Tonight's show is about the P word.
Yes.
Con is going to be a blast.
Today's show is brought to you by the letter P.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
And we won't use them because they'll probably yell at us for using their
Daryl won't mind.
the street. The Poppy Street, I'll just say that.
Mhm.
Not the same place.
Yeah, anyway. So how much more time do we have to fill?
4 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, 4 minutes.
So we need.
We're already over by a half hour. So
Oh, it's only an hour show.
yeah, it was an hour show.
Yeah.
It was.
We could
We
We're
might have
we're at
to
an hour 26. Of course we did.
we could just cut out all the inappropriate and
We were okay till Tina Marie came in. And then
Oh no, we
this
weren't.
extra half hour just
Yeah, we love Tina Marie.
No. We definitely went there by ourselves.
Yeah, long before she came in.
and we'll just take everybody along for the ride. That's just fine.
And I hope she knows I'm kidding.
She does. So,
No. Like she,
but we do want to thank Jenn and Steve the most because they're helping us create our new website and getting Psychics Unite out there. So come out and go see what we're already starting to build on our site. So psychicsunite.com.
Also,
you
go.
realize that's the first time we said that?
I know we should have said it all night, but now we say it at the end of the show.
Just typed it in there and put it at the banner on the bottom. That's what you should have done. Make it a scrolling banner. But also go to Psychics Unite channel on YouTube and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Having more subscribers will help us to be able to utilize it in a better way.
So
please
this
do that
show-
for us.
This show's on there. Devin show's on there. Jen's show's on there. And then Greg, who's in the chat room, show's on there. Sharon, who's our group leader from Antioch, is on there. And
Carly's will be on there.
Carly's coming on there. Tina Marie's radio shows,
Got stuff.
I think, is on there. So there's a bunch of us from Psychics Unite on there. Devin also posts every Sunday. Thank you, Devin, for this. It's amazing. Devin always posts out the links for our Zoom meetings on Monday nights. Monday night, 6:30 Central. I know we're on, everybody can see us around the world today. But 6:30 Central time is our meetings, and we usually go to 8:30 or 9. So we talk all the time, and it's not about the P word.
Unless you want it to be.
It could be.
Unless it is the P word.
Psychic.
Psychic.
There you go.
Yeah. Or
Paranormal, yeah.
or precognition, or psychometry,
Or pepperoni.
or
Hey, don't talk about food, I'm hungry.
Or pierogies.
or protection for empaths, or let me see what else.
How
Past
about donuts?
It doesn't start with a P.
That's okay.
That sounds good. That's all we got.
Well, it was wonderful. So Jen and Steve, why don't you guys give your information where you are? Devin, give your information where you are. Everybody knows where this is. So
Well, I can be found at JennHodgson.com or Jenn Hodgson Psychic Medium on Facebook and Instagram. But if you go to the website, it gets you to all my social media platforms. ProfessionalParanormalInvestigations.com. You can also find us there. StreetSmart.com.
That's STSmart. Yeah, ST Smart for street. STSmart.com.
Yeah. So we are pretty much everywhere.
nice.
Devin?
Devin.
Cool. I am DevinEvans.com. I'm also Devin Evans Psychic Medium on Facebook, or Divine Medium, spelled Devin E Medium, on Instagram. You can also find me here on this channel every Thursday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, with Truth Pumps. Tomorrow night, I'll be actually talking about some of the things that we talked about around really stepping into and what life is like before you're trained in your abilities and how that can be difficult. So I look forward to it.
And to Julie, I know it was yesterday, but Julie and Paul celebrated their 13th wedding anniversary yesterday.
Oh,
Congrats.
or condolences.
I'm not going to talk about the post she put up and what she calls them. And no, I'm just not going there. We've gone down too many roads today.
Well, all right. Thank you, everybody, so much. It was such a wonderful night, and thank you guys for coming. Come see us at Psychics Unite. It's some fun. It'll help you grow. It'll help us grow. So very excited to have everybody a part of us. Have a good night, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
My guest is Stacey, a psychic medium from Milwaukee.
She's great.
She's a wonderful lady. So, all right, we'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.